So today's message is God said He's about to ambush your enemies. So I was trying to go to sleep last night. After I read the word, and all I just kept hearing was ambush, ambush, ambush. Then God began to speak. After an ambush, victory is won. So Galatians 5:24. Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. If we know that our steps are ordered by God, and that God directs our path, and we know that, for the plans that He has for us, not to harm us, but to prosper us, then there's sometimes, we know that the battle is not ours, it's God's. So Psalms 23:2. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod, your staff, they comfort me. Now watch this. If you look at those verses, that's verse 2, verse 3, verse 4, Psalms 23. God is taking us through all that. And there are some paths that, God takes us even through the valley of the shadow of death. Why? Because God wants to ambush our enemies. Now, if we look at it from a military standpoint, ambush is a strategic move that is only successful in close combat or when the enemy is near. Now, a lot of times when we're talking about ambush, when we're looking at military movement, ambush is only successful when the enemy thinks they have the upper hand. So sometimes it may be on their territory, or like I was talking about, people that were laughing at you or anything like that, because God wants to ambush them as well too. But it's all for His glory, and even though the battle is not ours, it's the Lord's, we have to show up to the fight. So we have to show up and be in that territory, almost like bait, for the ambush. So you look at 2 Chronicles 20:15. I'm reading the second part of the verse. Do not be afraid or discouraged because of the vast army, for the battle is not yours, but the Lord's. So we look at Exodus 13:17. So this is when Pharaoh, we're letting the people go. It says, now when Pharaoh had let the people go, God did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, even though it was shorter. For God said that people might change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. So when we look at that, when Pharaoh did let the people go, so it was a strategic move even to get to the Red Sea. Now watch this. They didn't know, but God had an ambush set up for Pharaoh. Had Pharaoh would have not have followed them, they would have never got ambushed. So when He had let the people go, the ambush happened after God parted the Red Sea, and the people had went through the Red Sea. So then when the people tried to, they were following Him, when Pharaoh's people came through, the waters was already parted. And when they got there, the ambush, because see, an ambush does a lot of damage. It panics the enemy. They don't know what to do, and they thought they had the upper hand. Okay, we got them. Like, where are they going to go? Like, we're just going to chase them. We're going to get them. Like, the water is up, so they already thought that the water was going to stay up, but God already had that. That was an ambush waiting to happen. Because think about it. Had they known that water was going to fall, they'd have been like, nah, we ain't going in there, man. God going to let the water down. But they was already ambushed. So even in your life, and at times you look at this situation and you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I'm in this situation, and your enemies are laughing at you. They're saying you ain't gonna make it, and God is allowing them to feel like they, that they made it, and God is gonna ambush them. And right after the ambush was victory. So when they got past, the sea, and God let the sea, collapse again. The enemies were what? The enemies were reduced, what I'm saying? And the victory was won. So right after the ambush, God has a victory for you. So even in a situation, the enemy thinks they got you, the devil think he got you, and God is like, you about to get ambushed. So the ambush is very strategic move again. So you have to be placed in position for the ambush. And so the ambush happens because the enemies, can be on their own territory. They're coming. They say, you know what? They're out here in the desert. We got them. They don't have any resources. We're going to get them or anything like that. Also, ambush is a surprise attack by lying in wait in a concealed position, make a surprise attack on someone from a concealed position. So that's what God was telling me, saying that he is about to ambush your enemies, and that's because he's about to bless you. So even though it's difficult right now, we have to show up to the battle. Even though the battle is not ours, saying it's the Lord's, but you have to show up. And showing up, sometimes, we can, worry, and God doesn't want us to worry. He has it, so no matter what it is, I know I've seen some people were talking about, a house or anything like that, trying to get that, don't worry about it. God got it. God has it. God knows your needs. He said he'll supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. So that's what God is about to do. So again, God is about to ambush your enemies. But again, you have to show up to the fight. All right. God bless.